Welcome to another tier list for September 2025. Recently, there's a lot of changes that have been happening on the meta, and obviously we're gonna start here with the first one that it is gonna be here, the Barbarian. So we are now on the live stream, so also I'm gonna ask the chat for their inputs, what they think about, a certain class, if it is gonna be S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, or D tier. And I also want to clarify that, if your class is not at the top, don't worry, because pretty much every single class performs really well on the Diablo Immortal as long as you have a well-built account. And also we are taking into consideration pretty much every game mode, from dungeons, farming, raids, gauntlets, challenge reefs, and everything else that you can do in Diablo Immortal, right? So it's like a general sense, because I know that, for example, there are certain game modes that certain classes, they're gonna excel compared to others, but they just to give a general sense. So right now we have the Barbarian. The Barbarian right now, it is a class that I feel like, especially in the PvE, it has been on the rising. Barbarian used to be, around the B tier, then it kind of came up to the C tier, to the A tier, and now we actually, with the changes on the Whirlwind meta, together with these new, frozen axes that you're able to apply CC, shatter the mobs. Not only you have like also a new Sunder build that does like a lot of damage in the single target. I feel like definitely Barbarian, it has been rising up. It has been rising up that I believe that once again we have Barbarian right at the tippy top at S tier. Not only it is a very friendly class to actually just play, you have like a lot of self-healing that you can also put if you're like having difficulty with content. You can have the Roar of Persuasion on, you can have the Chains healing yourself, and there's a lot of like damage, and it's like super easy to farm. Probably one of the easiest class to start leveling up and farming, and it is just really good. Now we have here the Necromancer, guys. So the Necromancer, historically, it has been a class that, a lot of people used to play, or they still play, for the fact that, lazy farming was extremely popular. Also, it is always a class that always did like very well. It does also very good damage in the dungeons, but it is a class that right now it is a bit stuck in the meta, right? Like, while other classes, they keep improving and getting better, it feels like a Necromancer, it is kind of stagnated in the meta. But it doesn't mean like it is bad. It is not a bad class. It's just a class that, we had like Inferno 7 and Inferno 8, and especially in the PvE, nothing has like really changed the meta a lot. So because of that, I believe that while other classes are getting better, I feel like Necromancer, it is a class that I have to put it probably as, for the first time, in A tier, just because I believe that it is becoming a bit underwhelming in like many other factors. But I will probably put it like as A+, not enough like to be S tier, but well, Necromancers, you guys gotta try to tell to Blizzard to start bringing some very good PvE instances for you, because it is time to catch up, guys. It is actually time to catch up. Now we have here, guys, the Monk. The Monk, it has always been a class that historically, I feel like since I've been playing Diablo Immortal, it always struggled slightly to, be like one of the best classes. Like, it is a class that has very nice, single target damage. It farms well. Like, you can do everything with a Monk, like, pretty well, if you have, again, a decent account. But if you don't have a decent account, it is still a class that in PvE just doesn't outshine other classes by itself. So from my experience and by playing, and every time that I play with it, I try to make it work, and I just feel I always have like this feeling that, man, like, why would I actually bring a Monk into, the dungeons whenever, like, there's other classes that probably are performing so much better? So, with this being said, is it A tier? No. Is it B tier? I feel like B tier, probably it is the fair assumption for the Monk. I don't know if I even put it as a C tier, because it is quite underwhelming, but I don't really have like a hard challenge whenever I'm playing with the monk. You know, like you can do the dungeons, you can do the farming, and I can do like pretty well. But I don't know if that's because I have like a really good account at this stage, or is it because, you know, the class itself, it is, you know, okay. So I will put, for now, let's put it in the B tier. Maybe we can also make a few adjustments. The chat is saying to put the monk as the D tier and C tier or F tier. No, like the reality is still has some good potential, and hopefully in the future we can have like monk start, you know, becoming a bit more fun. There was only one fun regarding the monk, that it was the helicopter meta. I really enjoyed that one. Now we have here the Tempest. Oh man, so the Tempest, it is a class that, since the skin pattern, which is the Ancestral, that it has the water bananas, it is a class that pretty much kind of stagnated in a way in the meta. Yes, there is like some improvements here and there. There are like a new Squall Instances. This is pretty good, and above all, it's like it is the same build, but with like small adjustments here and there. So because of that, every time that I go back to the Tempest, I enjoy it for the first few days, but then I immediately get bored, just because I am playing still the same. But is that a reason to put it as B tier? No, absolutely not. It is a reason to put it as A tier. I don't really think so, because like the Tempest right now, it is probably one of the classes that has the, you know, the highest single target damage. If you go to the dummy, like when it comes to the bosses, maybe like that's a bit different, but definitely it performs really, really well. I feel like the only thing that Tempest is lacking, it is a bit more AoE damage compared to other classes that right now you have. For example, you have the Barbarian, as we talked about. We also have other classes with on the mesh. So I feel like in the AoE department, it is quite lacking compared to others, but the damage, it is still there, right? So I believe that the right slot for it is probably here in the middle, right? It will be A+ or S-, right? Because it is one of the classes that, for example, when we're talking about challenge rifts, we all know that every single time the Tempest is going to be the first one to clear, because it is super good at doing that content. Is also very good at doing like raid content, and it is just very comfortable to actually just play with the Tempest, and I always have a blast with it. So we're gonna probably put it here for now as A+, C-. Now let's bring here the Crusader. The Crusader, man, a class that it has been owning when it comes to the PvE, right? It's been one of the strongest classes for a very long time in PvE, and recently I played it and nothing changed. And that doesn't mean that it is a bad thing, right? Like in the single target now, we have a new Infernal Helmet that allows you to do a lot more damage with the Feast of Heavens, and you also have this godly, you know, dungeon build that pretty much allows you to just run through the dungeon and have a lot of clear power, and above all, probably one of the best classes to run dungeons and everything in the game. So with this, I think, you know, the Crusader, if you have a very well-built Crusader, it is definitely a class that has everything. Like single target damage, AoE, mobility, it is S tier by no means. If you are new to the game, probably, and if you don't have a lot of like skill cooldown reduction, beneficial effect duration, maybe we can drop it to maybe A or B for the sake. We're talking about, you know, people that are already more or less at the end game. So this is where we're gonna put here the Crusader. Now let's talk about here the Blood Knight. Blood Knight, it is always a class that personally I always enjoyed it. It is my first class that I ever played. It is the class that, you know, if today I am playing Diablo Immortal and I'm creating content for it, it is because of the Blood Knight. There is the Summons build that it does a lot of damage in a single target, but still not enough to compete at a you know, when you're talking about like the top DPS. There is the Umber Lance build that is also really fun, and now there's like multiple Abominations builds that people are enjoying to play it in the PvE. But I will say that honestly, every time that I play with it, it still feels that it is lacking something. The chat is saying A tier because it's fun. Okay, so this is not a fun tier list, because if it was a fun tier list, probably things will be different. We're talking about efficiency, right? And one of the things that the Blood Knight has, and a lot of people sleep in, is like you can actually lazy farm very efficiently with it. It has the self-healing. For farming, it works very well, but I will say that the Blood Knight in many, so if you're playing like the Umber Lance, it's not like the most, you know, mobile friendly class to play like the highest tiers builds. So for that, I will probably put it here together with the Monk, because I have exactly the same feeling whenever I'm playing the Monk and I'm playing the Blood Knight, is that they both do really well, or they do decently well, maybe that's a better way to say it, but they don't outshine or they don't outperform any other class that it is above them, right? So that's how I feel. Now let's go here into the Demon Hunter. There was a new update on the Demon Hunter class. Now the Demon Hunter actually has new pants, you know, that's like the only change, but the same as the Tempest, guys. The same as the Tempest. I think we can agree, guys, that the Tempest and the Demon Hunter are definitely quite stuck on the same meta. One with the Strife, the other one with the Water Bananas. And because of that, I believe that every time that I go into the Demon Hunter, I still have the same feeling. It's like pretty good. It does damage. And it's quite squishy. It's not like the best farmer, but it is still fun. But it's fun for 3 days. It's fun maybe 3 days, maybe maximum a week. And then it's like, man, I am still playing the same strafe build. So if you are a main Demon Hunter that only plays Demon Hunter, I salute you, brother, because you've been playing the same build for the past 6 months. Yeah, there are some variations, but like we all know that the strafe, it is the way to go, right? So because of that, I have to put here the Demon Hunter as a tier, right? A tier, it is it's not B tier, right? Because like it is still, in my opinion, better than these two when it comes like to the damage that can output. Maybe it doesn't have the highest survivability compared to the other ones, but definitely I think Demon Hunter, it is still like very decent, and it just outputs like still very good damage. But you cannot like still compete like with the top classes, which makes it, you know, a bit clunky in that sense. It definitely needs more AoE. We need more AoE, guys, for the Demon Hunter. I feel like that's the thing that Demon Hunter is lacking. I think we need a build that we can just keep dashing in and everything just gets destroyed all around. You know, we need to make that build happen. Like, you just keep dashing through the dungeon and everything around you, you don't even need to shoot, no strafe, no nothing, just dashing and everything gets destroyed around you. If that ever happens, I feel like I will be a very happy Demon Hunter. Now let's go here to the Druid. If you guys remember, last time whenever I did this, I actually put it, guys, the Druid as C tier, and I think then I bumped it up as B tier. And one of the main concerns we had about the Druid was the damage output was very lackluster. The Werewolf at the time was quite mid, like there was like, it didn't, like, was very clunky to play with it. The Bear still did perform quite well, but in general was a class that was just okay. You know, it's a class that was just fine. So now it is Inferno 8. We got new builds. And what I thought that was gonna be an improvement, I didn't expect to be and to have these improvements. So now we have a new Werewolf build and also some improvements to the Bear build, but especially the new instances, the headpiece for the Werewolf. It is absolutely game changing. It is an instance that it gave like so much mobility to the class. It is an instance that completely just changed everything, guys. And if you guys come on my stream or you guys go watch like the videos of the build that I just outputted for the whenever I'm running dungeons, you guys gonna see you're like the Flash. You are like, you have insane mobility. Like, you're just like probably the highest mobility in the game, maybe together with the wizard. You have probably the best AoE burst along the lines with the Crusader, and the single target, it is still pretty good if you're just talking about a raid boss. So because of the wolf, and mainly because of the wolf, when it comes like to farming the dungeons and to farm like terror ancestors, terror rifts, or to farm like the majority of the content in the game, I think it is very good. It's not like crazy mobile friendly to play like the best build, but I still say that probably the Druid, it is A+. I think that the Druid itself, the only thing that it is lacking, it is like a godly single target build. Like, actually godly. Because I have tried my best, and there are other, like the Crusader just outputs like 20 or 30% more damage. You have the Wizard just outputs like way more damage single target than the Druid. So the only thing that in my opinion is lacking, you have the mobility, you have the high burst DPS with the explosions, but the single target department, it is something that I feel like the devs can be worked on for the future. So, do you guys agree, chat? I think A+, and this is probably one of the biggest bumps that we ever had. We literally went from like the C tier to A+, and this is just the start. I think like the future for the Druid, it is gonna look very, very good. We still need more ancestors for the Surging Stone. We still need more ancestors for a full summons builds. And there's like so many more things that we can actually improve along the way to make it really good. So we're talking here all around, and I feel like there's still ways that I feel like the Druid can still improve, especially when you're talking about like these other things. Now let's go here into the Wizard. The Wizard, it is a class that it was so close to reach on my free-to-play account to 1 billion damage. We are so close. So in that department, man, it just owns. It just owns. I will say that the Wizard right now, obviously with a slow time build that you have to spam, but spamming dungeons with the Wizard, or for the matter of the fact, you also have spamming dungeons with the Wolf. They are two of like the most fun classes in my opinion now to spam. But I feel like the Wizard still gets the advantage because it is easier to play. It doesn't have like a lot of rotation. They pretty much are just like spamming. You're just spamming the buttons. You don't have to actually almost aim anything. There's no aims. Like the only thing you have to aim, it is like where your dash is gonna go, the teleport. And it is great. It feels great to play. So for that, I will say that the Wizard, it is the absolutely best class right now in the game for PvE. So this is like what I actually think. Definitely, if I have to make here some adjustments, probably, you know, we can make here some fair adjustments and put here these ones that I'll say that the Wizard, it is the first one, then probably the Crusader, then the Barbarian, then you have the, as a single target, like also very powerful, you have the Tempest, you have the Druid, then you also have, this is actually for very different reasons. So the Tempest is really good because of the single target potential, and the Druid is really, really good because of the AoE potential. And both of them are just slightly lacking a bit of like the other departments. And yeah, I feel like this is definitely the PvE classes that we are, you know, talking about, and is the ones that I hope that in the near future we actually keep, you know, trying to improve the meta. So I want to say thank you to my chat, and thank you to you guys for listening to this. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and type cheese in the comments. So you guys are the legends that keep carrying the channel. And with this, thank you for watching. Go watch this next video. Peace.